Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of these initiatives. Let's talk about the delete request and opt out platform. This is quite extraordinary for a couple of reasons. One, as you know, as everyone should know, Vermont was one of the first states that had any type of data broker laws. And then nationally, we had the do not call list, right? And so drop is sort of a brainchild of that, but it takes it that much further, and you really were able to get the gaps there addressed. But I want you to explain to people what drop is and why it's important.
Yeah, sure. So the drop system, the delete request and opt-out platform, is the accessible deletion mechanism that was called for with the passage of California Senate Bill 362 that was authored by State Senator Josh Becker, signed into law by Governor Newsom. I had the pleasure to actually propose this idea to Senator Becker and worked with him on this. And so it's kind of a cool situation where 3 years after working with him on this, that I'm now responsible for implementing this. But it's not an original idea, as you mentioned. That clearly there was the FTC's do not call list. There, in fact, Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, called for a data broker clearinghouse with deletion capabilities in an editorial for Time magazine back in 2019. Has been, and there was a federal proposal by Senator Cassidy, a Republican, and Senator Ossoff, a Democrat, called the Delete Act. When I ran this idea by Senator Becker, I said, this is a great idea. We already have a registry. To your point, Vermont was the first state to have a registry. California was the second. Now we have Oregon and Texas also having data broker registries. So we already had the registry. And so the proposal was, with the Delete Act, was to move the registry administration from the California Attorney General over to Cal Privacy, and then build upon that registry this means to enable consumers to go to a website, verify their residency, put in some basic personal information like email address, phone number, mobile advertising ID, VIN, etc., and then hit the submit button. And then that data is immediately stored in a secure format. And then starting August of this year, the data brokers that are registered with the state, and there are over 500, need to access the system, and then they hash their corresponding information, and then they compare our lists of hashed information with their hashed information. And only if they see a match, then they have to actually go through the deletion process and then report back. So it's a closed loop system that Californians can enter their information in, and then they can get the status. Data brokers pull information in a secure manner, and then they report back. And frankly, the overall reaction to this has just been incredible. We launched this per statute, and we successfully launched this on January 1st of 2026. So we're just talking, you know, less than 40 days ago. And from when we're recording this, and we've already had over 215,000 Californians. So that's about 7,000 Californians a day going to this website, doing the registration. So it clearly shows that there is a pent-up demand for a free, secure tool that gives Californians kind of a single click mechanism to initiate deletion requests against and for hundreds of data brokers, as opposed to Californians having to contact each and every one manually and probably spending 20, 30 minutes on each. And if you multiply those 20, 30 minutes each times 500 data brokers, that's 10 days, full days. And so this completely automates that in a matter of minutes for Californians. So we're really pleased with the initial reaction.